All right there, good afternoon everyone. Welcome to Bowls 360. It's our final show for the year. It is finals this weekend. Exciting weekend coming up at Bowls. With me as always, Lee, the Lord Such. How are you?
Hello Simon, hello everyone.
You going all right?
Yeah, good. It's an exciting weekend, isn't it? It's really interesting how this is all going to pan out. I try to do a preview for Premier League tomorrow, and I've got absolutely no idea. It's been quite a season.
I look forward to hearing your thoughts then.
Been quite a season, yeah. I really thought it was going to be the Manning and Mount Lawley show this year, and it certainly hasn't been the case.
No.
And I watched your review on Monday, and just seeing that graph you did, it was absolutely brilliant. Like 6 or 7 different clubs sharing top spot at one point.
Amazing.
And,
it's been an amazing season.
Yeah, it really has, and a couple of challenge games as well, and we'll know what the Premier League is going to look like for next season.
Let's have a look at the team, shall we? First up, we'll look at the third versus fourth. This is the elimination final, effectively. It's Mount Lawley versus South Perth. The changes, David Morris comes in for the Mount Lawley team at the expense of Shane Knott, which is a bit of a surprise to me because I thought he played the last 3 weeks to qualifying. He's played 4 games now, so he qualifies for the finals, but they haven't picked him. Maybe he's just a backup or something, but Morris comes in. He's been a bit in and out all year. No changes at South Perth. During the season, round 1 they played South Perth, winning that one 7-1 by 10 shots, and in round 10 South Perth also winning that one by 19 shots, and the head-to-head record is quite amazing. 8 times they've played, 2 wins to Mount Lawley, 5 wins to South Perth, and a draw.
Quite a record, isn't it? You know, obviously these guys aren't going to mind going to Cambridge too much. Both got the same surface, so this is going to be a really good game. Noddy's got a softball commitment tomorrow, which has ruled him out, and it was one of the reasons why I got stuck on my preview. To be fair, the Noddy DT combo in the past of I think they've won 4 or 5 Premier Leagues together. So I think that will affect them. I think not having Noddy in the side, that experienced head. South Perth, Graham Wishart's going to be the man here. He's going to get these boys together, he's had a brilliant season. He's turned back the clock. I think Roosters, he's going to have a lot to do with this, depending on the success of the club. I really don't know. Look, it's a toss of the coin. I have gone Mount Lawley because I've been there before. It's not with a lot of confidence. This one's either way.
I'm going to go South Perth just because of their head-to-head record. It's sometimes when you enter these sort of games, just knowing that you can beat them and have beaten them, certainly this year and over the past few years, can count for a lot. So it's at a neutral venue. You're right, the service won't matter a jot to them. So I'm just going to go South Perth in a sneaky little tip there. In the other game, first versus second, of course, Cambridge are playing Manning. No changes to either side. The first during the season in round 3, Cambridge winning the first time round at Cambridge 6-2 by 19 shots, and in round 12 Cambridge also getting the job done at Manning by 4 shots, also 6-2. Head-to-head record favours Cambridge 15-11 and 2 draws at Cambridge. It is a 9-5 win record to Cambridge.
Yeah, top 2 sides, and this is going to be an absolute beauty. Manning, and I like what you said. Just said the key when you're getting beat is winning those rings, and that's how Manning have got themselves into this position when they've been getting beat. They just haven't quite struck the whole 4 rings together, and I'm just sort of waiting for that time when they do, because on paper they are the best side, hands down, by far. But it just hasn't quite happened yet that all 4 rings have sort of got going together. But they'd love that if they could have it this weekend. Cambridge,
it could, couldn't it?
Oh,
there's no reason why they can't all just click and win.
No, 100%. Cambridge, they've just really surprised everyone. Really, how good they've gone. I can't see Cambridge losing twice at home. I think that's probably, if I was a betting man, that's probably the only thing I'd have money on, is that I think Cambridge will be in the final.
Yeah.
I
can't. Who they play?
Who knows? Well, that's right. It's just, I just can't see them getting beat at home twice. So I am going to go Cambridge.
Yeah, me too. The home side, I don't know. I haven't had a real good look at when it last might have happened, when the home side hasn't gone through to the grand final from Premier League. So
I think it was W. I think it was W about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah,
they went out straight sets.
So Cambridge should win one of these games. I think they'll win this game, so they'll get the afternoon off. Manning versus Mount Lawley or South Perth, I mean, who knows, in the afternoon. So who's your thought then for the grand final?
So I'm going to go, I'm still going to go Mount Lawley to take it out.
Right, okay. Yep, because we'll be at Osborne Park this year. So
yeah, we're still going to go Mount Lawley over Cambridge.
Yeah, okay. I'm probably going to go Manning over Cambridge.
I'd like to see South Perth versus Manning. I'd like to see that one. I think that'll be the people's final.
Yeah.
That'll be an interesting one. But I don't know.
It's just a lotto, isn't it?
It is.
It's a real lottery. Let's look at the other finals. In blue, it is first versus second. North Beach are playing Safety Bay. No changes at North Beach. Owen comes in for Burgess. During the year in round 5, North Beach beat Safety Bay by 6 shots at home. 76-1, that's probably 7-1, bit of a typo there. And in round 14 at Safety Bay doing the job there at home, 8-0, pretty comprehensive. 24 shots to Safety Bay at home. This will be played at Elsbourne Park, obviously. Who do you think will win that one?
I think North Beach should be too strong, really. I think they've recruited very well during the season. And they'll, I think, this would be amazing if they didn't end up going up to Premier League, really, if they lose this and then lose the challenge game. It's just the unbelievable way of it works, but I think North Beach should be too good.
They're both very strong at home and they're both fairly weak away, but North Beach have a slightly better record away. I think they should win this game. And our last game for the flags is, of course, the blue teams, Blue North Wanneroo playing Blue South Armidale. No changes at Wanneroo for Armidale. McKay and Dan Newton is in for Lapham and Sheehan. And we don't really look at the blue much. What are your thoughts on this game?
I don't know too much about the Wanneroo side, but Armidale, I mean, I think they'll be very competitive in one wide, but that side, a lot of experienced ex-Premier League players and ex-state players.
Stacked, isn't it?
Obviously, Kevin Mackay, state skipper in there. I've got to go with them, Armidale.
Yeah, I think Armidale should be too good. Let's look at the challenge game. So in the afternoon, North Beach had the bye. They go straight through to the challenge game versus Sorrento. No changes at Sorrento. Sorrento finished 8th for the year. The winner will play in the Premier League in 26-27. It is at North Beach on the Saturday afternoon. Any thoughts on this game?
I don't think there'll be too much love lost in this one, considering that some of the recruits are from Sorrento. But North Beach at North Beach, I think Sorrento will be heading back to wide, to be fair.
Yeah, I know this season they had a 9-0 record, I think, at home, and even in the Premier League they were quite beat. Like they won a lot of their games at home. So Sorrento had a bit of a shocker this year. We played them in round 18. They beat us. Obviously, they're up for it. They really are looking forward to the North Beach game. But I think North Beach will be too strong. And in the other challenge game, it is Safety Bay versus Cardini in the morning. They finished second and third in one white. No teams yet for Cardini. The winner will play Doubleview in the afternoon. No changes for that game. Do you think Doubleview will be able to hang on?
Well, it's going to be a test, isn't it? I don't really know what's going to happen here. Going to go Cardi, I think. Yeah, Cardi.
Yeah, it depends who wins that morning game. If Safety Bay can beat Cardini at North Beach, then I think Doubleview will beat Safety Bay. If Cardi can beat Safety Bay in the morning, then that is going to be a real humdinger.
Yeah.
I was hoping to live stream it, but unfortunately things haven't got quite lined up, so I won't be streaming that game. I think that will be an absolute corker if Cardini get through. So
yeah, I think I really hope that Doubleview end up knocking off Cardi, because they're far too good not to be in Premier League. And they'll just absolutely destroy one wide, I think, if they do. But it's going to be an interesting outcome though. You never know. Like, I know they changed greens, but. Game under their belt, I'm not really sure, but I'm hoping W. Hang on,
they've been pretty competitive in the last 6 weeks or so, haven't they? W since Christmas, so they probably should be too good for no matter what. But I think Cardini will take it up to them for sure. So we've got some news as well. Oh no, we'll go through the tips. They're the final tips. You got 4 right last weekend. Unfortunately, my team let me down. So that means you win the tipping.
Just snuck on in the end, eh? Yeah.
Exciting last round. I do have some news about that. I've got Claude AI to create a tipping code for my website. So next season there will be a pennant tipping competition.
Yeah,
whether it includes all the first divisions or whether it might just be Premier League and the 2 whites at this stage, but we'll see. But look out for that in the tipping competition on the site next year. The other piece of news, of course.
Oh, it's me.
Is your retirement?
Yeah, we'll call it a day. The queue's in the rack. Look, it's sort of been on the mind for a while. I've been thinking about it for probably about 3 or 4 years now, to be honest. And I think the champion singles was sort of the icing on the cake. After they won, I was pretty stoked, and I thought I could hang up the boots now. And
good time to go out.
Good time to go out. And look, it's not an easy decision, especially I know it's going to hurt Vic Park a little bit.
You've enjoyed it there, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I've had a great time. And a good bunch of blokes, but it's just the fire's just not in the belly anymore, and I don't think it's fair to me and my teammates to sort of just go out there and just go through the motion.
So this is your life. Here we go. I haven't warned you about this. So you've had 8 years in Perth. How many years in New South Wales?
28.
28. So you've been playing bowls for 36 years out of 40 odd. Age of 40.
Yeah, 45.
45. So you started what when you were 9 or 10?
9 years old, yeah.
So I mean that's a long time. So I don't think you'll be lost to the sport. I think at some stage you'll find the fire.
Oh, of course. Like it's look, I've been so lucky, Simon, and I've had a tremendous career over east and like St John's Park, and I was lucky enough that bowls was a career for me for 20 odd years. You know, I came to WA and played some for 3 great clubs. Had some great achievements while I've been over here as well. So if I would have started and I would have been told what I was lucky enough to achieve in the game, I would never have believed it. Yeah. So look, I'm not vanishing. You know, I'm still going to be around. I'm still going to support the game, and there'll be some celebrity appearances. But yeah, and look, I'll be honest. Look, the WA season's sort of got the better of me. Look, I'm not great with the heat. Yeah. And I'm quite old school too in a long way, and I know like synthetics obviously the way the game's going, and which sort of breaks my heart a bit because I've played on some beautiful grass greens all over the country. It's taken me all over the place. Yeah. The game has, but yeah, enough for now. It's the keys in the rack.
Yeah, the heat over here really affects you on synthetics more.
Yeah, it certainly does, and you know I know we're going to look at the calendar soon, but really I think we should have another 5-6 weeks of penance really.
So best WA player you've played with or against?
Chevy. Chevy and Christina were probably 2 people that I really wanted to have a game with. I had an opportunity to play with both. Won a state and Masters triples with Chevy, and Justin Opie was a big part of that. Probably the one disappointing thing was I never got a state cap. That was the one thing that I was hoping for. Was one of the reasons why I came over to try and push for that. I think COVID might have sort of hurt my chances a bit in the middle there, and then
your prime really when you came.
Yeah, over. And then after that I started looking at saving for a house, so I sort of cut back on bowls a bit. But no, Chevy definitely was probably the biggest influence.
Best player over east.
I'd have to go Aaron Sheriff. I was lucky enough to see Aaron from the start. I was sort of coming out of the juniors as he was coming through.
Yeah, okay.
There was never any doubts in my mind when I saw him as an 11 or 12-year-old.
He's going to be a player.
Steve Glass and Rex Johnson, also right up there, 2 iconic guys. Anyone that hasn't seen those guys, look them up on YouTube. Sensational bowlers and had quite an impact on my career.
And last, have you enjoyed your move over to WA?
Oh, it was the best thing I ever did. I would have never have got ahead in life if it wasn't for WA. I never had a career outside of bowls.
Yeah, right.
So my first real job was 40 when I started at West Track. I'd always been in a bowling club leading up to that, but I would have never got ahead over east. It's just chaos over there at the moment. So it was only supposed to be a 6-month move.
Yeah.
WA, I was going to go to the Gold Coast and put the feelers out to bowling clubs.
Oh, right.
That was the original plan, and I loved it. So it's been the best thing I ever did was come to WA.
Well, we're all glad to have you've come over here, Suchy. So
had some great times. We had the show, we had the radio show. We had 4 or 5 years doing that.
True. Hopefully you'll be back on the show, my show next year.
Yeah, well, like I say, I'm not disappearing. There's going to be celebrity appearances, and I'm getting 2 new knees actually, so you never know. So that might rekindle things in the future. So yeah, but just at the moment,
have a year off and
break.
See how it goes. All right, and the last thing we're going to look at is let's get rid of the retirement tree. We're going to look at the pennant calendar. Now, I must stress to people that it is a draft pennant calendar, so this is certainly not set in stone. This was sent out to all the clubs in late February for discussion, so don't take this as gospel. If you're watching the show now and you don't agree with what you're seeing on the screen, don't write to Bosway and complain like hell. Write to your club secretary or your club president and get them to funnel all your sort of queries and suggestions that you have to Bosway. This is a proposal, it's not definite, but let's have a quick look at it and let's discuss it for our opinions as we go, Suchy. So the first thing that I wanted to bring your attention was round 1 is now going to be on the 24th of October. Earlier, I think it's probably the earliest start to a pennant season that I've seen. What are your thoughts on the early start there?
Yeah, it's normally about another week, isn't it? I think it's
usually
a week. It's a
the
week
last
start.
Saturday in October.
Yeah. So it's not too much of a bigger difference. Look, I guess I'm talking here as an old school bowler. That clubs that still have grass greens are really, when you look at sort of hit outs and trials and roll ups and things like that, you've really got to have your grass greens ready by the start of October, really. And it's sort of one thing I've always struggled with, how greenkeepers get grass ready in winter over here, and especially when we get the rain, we really get it good. It's I just think it's tricky for poor greenkeepers having to try and get things ready by October.
Our seasons have shifted. There's no doubt from 20 years ago. So that to me, October is still really the old school September, which is usually the wettest month of the year. It's now October, so I think it's the worst time of the year to bowl on grass. Synthetics doesn't really matter. I think it's the worst time. I think it's far too early. For me, I wouldn't have it that early. I would do other things to make it later. We'll probably talk about April in a minute, but I think that's too early to get grass clubs up and going. The second thing we sort of discussed it before we went on air, but December, and I think you raise a good point about bowls in December. If we've got 3 or 4 games there this December, but it's an annual thing about bowls in December. I think you've got some good ideas on that. So
yeah, just looking at it from a club administration point as well. I mean, we've got to just think a little bit outside the square, and not forgetting that bowling clubs are businesses as well. Like, we've had a knockback barefoot bowls functions from really mid to late November, right up until probably 4 or 5 days before Christmas. There's not a lot of money coming in when Pennants is on, and there's not a lot of people going to the bar. It's mainly afterwards.
Outside of bowlers.
And I think you look at what most bowling clubs charge for barefoot bowls these days, $15, $20 a head or something like that. Like, we've turned away a lot of people. And I think it's something that really needs to be looked at, because we could make a lot of money, and I think a lot of other bowling clubs, especially now that we are losing 4 games, you do need to look at other ways of making money, and I just think late November, December is a perfect opportunity to get other people through your doors, and you might even get new members through that. Well, we've had a lot of people through corporate bowls and functions coming through the doors, so it's just looking at it from an old school, and I played Pennants in 3 different states, Simon, and I just think that Pennants is always our premier comp. I think the season should be worked around Pennants.
Yeah,
we choose when Pennants is the best time to be played, and I still really think we should be playing for another 5 or 6 weeks yet, and everything else is worked around that. I mean, synthetics are great when it's cooler as well. We can play things in October, and even in we still have a couple of events in May, but I really think Pennants should be starting probably mid-February, or even like the end of January after Australia Day weekend, and go right through to the end of April.
Yeah, I totally agree. I've never really thought of it that way before, but being involved with Matt Lawley as I am, they have functions left, right and centre leading up to Christmas. They have 200 or 300 functions in that 5-week period, and they've got to try and manage bowls around all their functions. I think it's a great idea to just ditch it, get rid of it, let clubs earn their money, hire their venue out.
Yeah.
You're right, it's a business now. Clubs are turning over $1 million, $500,000 easily every year. We need to stop treating them as bowling clubs in a way.
Well, I know with South Perth, when I was at South Perth, I mean, really from mid-November, I mean, you can't even roll up. It's absolutely chockers. They're so central.
Yeah.
I know it'd absolutely be a cash cow for them, and it's just really skyrocketed. And we've got a great bar manager at Vic Park who actually goes out and promotes it and chases it, and she's great with it. I know it's a lot of money for a lot of clubs.
Yeah.
And I think down the track is something we've got to look at.
Yeah, so that brings us to January, which is now no bowls in January. Effectively, we return to Pennants on the 28th. The 30th, Saturday the 30th is round 10 starting, so no bowls, Pennant bowls in January. They have moved the state pairs away from Boxing Day onto the 2nd of January, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. The men's singles and ladies singles, of course, continue the 16th and 17th with a follow-on for the Australia Day long weekend. So no Pennant bowls in January. Is it a good thing? Oh, I didn't even show that. There we go. Let's show that all again. Is it a good thing or a bad thing, do you think?
Maybe if people want to organise holidays and stuff like that, they can do it in January. But I suppose our 2 blue ribbon events are in January, so I suppose probably not too many people that are serious about that aren't really going to go away. I think that the hardest thing is, what are we looking at? So we're looking at 9
6
games.
weeks.
So we're looking at 9 games before that 6-week break, and then we're coming back for 5 games. And I think after 9 games, I think the writing's on the wall for most clubs with Pennants, and all of a sudden I'm just worried that things are going to drop off, and like holidays are going to get booked, and it's like, well, we're out of it anyway. I just think that's really going to affect numbers, and I think it's a bit risky, really. To me, it's just not Pennants. It's not Pennants having that big of a gap. I mean, you look to build momentum, try and work on things. Like, I'll have forgotten by the time I come back who I even played with in those first 9 games. So, I really think Pennants really needs to be kept as close together as possible, and to try and have the least amount of impact missing games. But that's quite a big break.
I'd love to know the reason why there's a 6-week break, and hopefully Peter Harris or someone from Bowls Away can come out and say, I suspect it's the heat. I'm not sure, but I suspect it's the heat. So to me, it's not logical for me to play state pairs or state singles in what's theoretically the hottest time of the year. In state pairs, you play 13 ends, you play 3 games of 13 ends, which is 39, 40 ends of 8 bowls. You're playing 150 bowls in a day, whereas you play Pennants, you're playing 42 bowls in a day, every 8 minutes essentially. So you're sitting down you can sit down for 5 or 6 minutes. And I like the heat rule they've got, where you can go off and have a bit of a break. So I think that's a really good heat. Well, the singles, I mean, I played 20 ends singles games, so I played 2 games of singles and marking. I'm standing up for virtually 6 hours in the heat of the day, so to me it's not very logical having you're essentially playing more bowls during that time of the year than what you are if you're playing pennants. So
yeah, I think they should be our last 2 events. I think that we should the last month they should be the Sundays sort of taken up. Or I think when the greens are at their best, the wind's down and the heat's down, I just think that's when you play your best bowls. That's when I'd have it. But
so that brings us to April. Well, the end of pennants is the same as this year, so the end of pennants is scheduled for mid-March, 13th and 14th of March. That's when the finals are. The last game is the 6th of March, round 14, so just after the long weekend. So we play 13 games, have a long weekend, come back for a game, and then we're into finals. April, they've moved the state fours to April, and the state triples is on again in April. I'll move that over so it's on the screen. So there's the fours and the triples. So essentially we play pennants on the 14th, and there's nothing until the 3rd of April, and then there's a week later there's the triples. Yeah, I'm a bit like you. Our grass greens are beautiful. I played at Sorrento on the weekend, they were great. Osborne Park, I've heard, it's good. Double View's good. So why is it the AFL that's affecting our pennant season?
Yeah, I just don't think we can do it like that.
No.
This that we have to finish by Easter, it just baffles me. And I don't really know how many AFL games actually impact the Saturday afternoons now. I don't even know if there's that many Eagles or Freo games that are really on a Saturday afternoon now. I just don't think it's right that we work our sport around another one. Like over East, it's if you want to watch rugby league, you go and watch rugby league. If you want to play bowls, you play bowls. I just don't think it's fair to our greenkeepers and clubs that we're working our game around another game.
I completely agree. I think mid-January we should be, like the Australia weekend should be our first round of pennants. You could squeeze in a couple of double headers. You could get it done mid-January. You could get it done by late April. Could be the end and go backwards from there maybe. But I mean, we lose a weekend at Easter, but we lose a weekend with the long weekends anyway. I don't think that's an issue. No. So that's the best time of the year to bowl. It's not overly hot in March or April. We've got 38 degrees today or something, but it's an anomaly really. In April certainly there's low 30s, the wind's dropped off. I think it's the best time of the year to bowl.
100% agree. Our background came back sensational. We only got 2 games on it.
Yeah.
It's just a shame, and it's one of the reasons why I'm sort of hanging the boots up, because it's just it's. Hopefully it doesn't get anything, like you said, Simon. I said, like, talk to 3 clubs and get it written in rather than ringing up Bowls WA. But for me, it just looks like it's 2 seasons sort of thing. I don't mind if they're down the track, if they look at having 2 different comps. I don't think that's a bad idea. I know Queensland have several different comps throughout the year, several shorter ones. I don't think that's a bad idea at all. I've always thought Premier League should be a standalone comp.
A few people in your boat there on that idea.
Yeah, I think get a couple of Pearl sides and get Mandurah and Pinjarra or something like that, and then make it a standalone comp like it is elsewhere. Try and get a sponsor. I mean, there's big mining companies out there. Should be able to get a sponsor, have some money, and really try and make it the best of the best. Because you can see, like, since I've been here, Mount Lawley's really been the only club that have sort of come through and gone to Premier League and been competitive. And to be fair, they had to sort of they
recruited pretty heavily.
They recruited pretty heavy, and and obviously there'd be a little bit of money involved, which I think you've got to do really. I mean, I've been lucky enough over East where it happened with me, and I don't think to get better is something the club's got to look at. But really, they've been the only one really outside of the top. The top 5 or 6 really that I've sort of come. So there's a big break there between Premier and One White, and I just think maybe down the track is something we've got to look at. Just trying to sort of break it away. And you look at the Platinum one over East, and it's live streamed, and it's I know they've got the pokies and stuff like that, but they've got a sponsor as well.
Yeah.
And it's all over in about 9 weeks or something like that. So it's. I think a couple of quick comps, I reckon this might be the way to go, and especially with people walking away, like they're not involved in kids' sports.
Yeah.
And we've lost a lot of people over the years
Yeah.
For kids and stuff like that. So I just think, maybe a couple of comps mightn't be a bad idea.
We have enough carnivals, state events. There's so much bowls in a 12-month cycle that we could easily do a pennant season over 10 weeks, get it done and dusted.
Well, and if it's not raining, synthetics run absolutely beautiful in winter. I used to love playing winter bowls at South Perth. They run 16, 17 seconds in winter. They just run magnificent, and I just think we could utilise them a little bit more like come May as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so that's the discussion on the draft. It was good. We'll have more discussions about various things next year maybe. All right, well, that brings us to an end today. Thank you one and all for tuning in this year. This will be our last preview of the weekends, obviously. It won't be the last of the channel. There'll be other stuff. I'll do a review show next week, but there'll be other news items. The state events to cover, the rankings I'll look at. The Australian Open is coming up in June. So stay tuned to the channel. Give us a like and subscribe. You'll get notifications when I upload a video, so do that. And until next season, Suchy.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thanks, everyone.
See you, bye.